Sri Lanka has suspended the supply of fuel to non-essential services. This comes as a crisis-hit nation deals with a severe shortage of fuel. For the next 2 weeks, only vehicles for essential services will be allowed to fill up fuel. What does this mean? Only trains, buses, medical services and vehicles that transport food will get the fuel. Schools have also been asked to stay closed for the next 2 weeks. An island nation's 22 million people must work from home. On Sunday, the government promised it will implement a token system. This was to ration distribution of limited fuel stocks, but this failed to take off. There have been long queues outside the few pumping stations, so with supplies barely enough for just one more day, Sri Lanka has now announced this sales ban to save petrol and diesel for emergencies.
We have a problem of distributing to essential services the limited stocks of the Petroleum Corporation. The Cabinet decided that until July 10th, only essential services will function and other functions will be temporarily suspended.
The cash-strapped nation is also opening its oil market to foreign competition. Sri Lanka's oil industry was nationalized in 1961. The state-run Ceylon Petroleum Corporation controls about 80% of the fuel market. The Lanka IOC, which is a unit of the Indian Oil Corporation, controls the rest. Authorities say the crisis is an appropriate time to allow market entry to foreign firms. This will enable them to import and even sell fuel using their funds. The government already sent ministers to Russia and Qatar to source discounted oil. Meanwhile, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa met with Moscow's envoy in Sri Lanka to discuss fuel. Currently, Sri Lanka is facing its worst economic crisis since independence. It can no longer afford to import essentials, including enough oil and gas to meet energy needs. In May, it defaulted on its debts with international lenders for the first time in its history. The government is also in talks with the International Monetary Fund for a bailout. And for more on this, our correspondent Dasunia Thauda has sent us this report from Colombo.
With state-run Sipetco fuel stations now only providing fuel to those of essential services and the large public now only left with the Indian-run Lanka IOC to provide for their fuel needs, the decision of the Sri Lankan cabinet to go ahead with opening Sri Lanka to possible importations of fuel from other oil-producing nations comes at a time where Sri Lanka is dealing with an acute shortage of fuel and is in desperate need for any and every help of investment with regard to Sri Lanka's energy and fuel market. Nevertheless, experts also believe that this might be a short-term solution to a long-term problem of Sri Lanka's depleting forex reserves that has now resulted in a worsening crisis. Reporting for WION World is one from Colombo. I'm Dasmia Thauda.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.